It's another edition of the Way Out Here podcast. As always, we are presented by the Washed Up Network, and we are not going to do the Manscaped quite yet, but hey, we know that over 50% of you are not subscribed to the pod. So pause this right now. Pause it, press the button, pause it.
Pause that stuff, man.
Pause
Let's
it.
go.
Go subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you go press that subscribe button. Make sure you go rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts. And Spotify's a little weird. You can't subscribe on Spotify. Hey, Clayton, I listen on Spotify. I can't subscribe on Spotify. You just have to press the follow button. Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe on Apple. Don't give me that shit about the verbiage on it. It's all right. I just want you to subscribe to the pod. Follow the podcast on Spotify. That is it. We appreciate it, all the listeners out there for tuning in. Now it's our 15th episode, and we're going to do something a little bit different that we haven't done before. We've done some a couple of comedy podcasts, and honestly, all of them are pretty much comedy because we're just a bunch of idiots that talk into microphones. So we're going to talk a little bit about us, and you're going to get to know a little bit more about the Way Out Here pod. We kind of teased it on Tuesday, but we wanted to talk more about the Way Out Here boys and why we're doing this and why we decided that we are going to do this every Tuesday and Thursday. So without further ado, we're going to get into just kind of some personal stuff, I guess. So the one question that we get a ton, whether it's DMs or emails or whatever, is where do you guys meet? Like, how do you guys know each other? All of that. Do one of you want to take this over? I'd love to hear your guys' story of why we're doing this and where we met.
I don't think I could even remember where we met. I was so hammered in 7th grade.
Oh, whatever, dude. Whatever.
I know. I met Clayton, obviously, and Taylor my 7th grade year out at Freeman. Kind of became friends with Clayton instantly because I was a loser, and so was he, and we played baseball together.
True.
And then Taylor just scared the living shit out of me, so I decided to become his friend.
Also facts.
I was like, he looks like he could kick my ass. I'm going to be his friend.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those situations where you go up to him and you punch the tallest kid in the yard or the tallest guy in prison. It wasn't that situation. You become friends with him instantly. Yep. So, we tried.
It wasn't that scary. I was like 135 pounds of angry little white boy.
Bruh, Matt and I, we basically were 4'10" in 7th grade. You were one of the tall.
Still haven't hit my growth spurt yet.
Yeah. The growth spurt is coming. I swear.
Getting there.
But yeah, I mean, we're healed. I'm gonna probably have to. But we all went to Freeman. So yep. Freeman, for those of you who don't know, it's Freeman School District. So there's an elementary school, middle school, and a high school. It's some dinky farm school, and the high school has 350 total kids. We graduated with about 75 kids. So we all met in 7th grade, and just happenstance. We really weren't even, Matt and I were close because of baseball and, traveling all the time for baseball. It just naturally brings you closer. So Matt and I were super tight for a long time. We didn't really start hanging out with Taylor until after high school, which to the benefit of us.
So for me, I couldn't hang out with Taylor because he watched the UFC when I was in 7th grade. Dude, I'll never forget that conversation with my mom. I love my mom to death. Love both my parents to death. But dude, I'll never forget when she was like, "Oh, what did you guys do over there?" And I was like, "Oh, we watched the UFC." You did what? Are you kidding me? You can't go there ever again. I'm like, Mom, it's not even that big of a deal. They're just fighting. It's a sport. It's not that big of a deal. I just don't like it.
It's so funny.
Now it's the main topic on our podcast.
Yeah, I know. We talk about it all the time. I mean, granted, it's the only thing that's on right now, but I don't know. I wasn't really super close with you two in high school. But I still talk to you guys. Everybody talked at that school. I mean, it wasn't I hated any one of you. I do remember Matt coming to my house though, and my family's so much different. My family
much different. I love your family.
We really don't watch football or basketball or baseball. We're not really big into that. My mom loves football. My brother loves football, but we're not diehard fans of that. We've grown up racing motocross. We like watching UFC fights. We like watching drag races and just anything with motors or violence. That's pretty much all our family likes to do. So the first time I ever brought Matt over,
oh god,
this was back early 2000s. So the UFC was kind of just starting to take off a little bit, coming into the mainstream. So still everybody was just a bunch of animals fighting in a cage. And it's
Literally,
like,
though, yeah.
There was a bunch of backlash though back in the day because of how violent it was. And honestly, you look back at some of those fights, they just straight up did not call fights until the other person was straight up knocked out. So, I mean, there was some, I guess, relative concern for people and well-being, but nowadays it's way more sanctioned and stuff. But, you know, it's funny looking back and seeing all the negativity and hate the UFC got, and now it's like everyone's favorite sport, and it's the highest like rated sport on ESPN right now.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It is good. It's good for the sport too. I enjoy it, but that's like stuff I've always enjoyed too. But you guys, obviously, I mean, I enjoy listening to you guys talk about like your football and baseball and stuff like that, because I don't know, but I'm always like curious to find out about other stuff. And you guys know fucking everything about anything about those sports, so it's cool. But yeah, no, Matt came over and we watched the fights, and Matt's face just like lit up. Dude.
I was
He's
so,
like,
so
what
okay,
are
so,
we
so to kind of
watching?
give a little bit of a background for myself is I went to a private school for 7 years. So kindergarten through 6th grade, I went to Valley Christian. So I was very sheltered. I remember my 7th grade year too, dude. Because at a private school, you have to wear like a certain dress code. So I remember like wearing just like collared shirts and like khakis every day, and then I went to Freeman and I was like wearing all this like the same clothes while everyone else is wearing like sweats and a tank top to school. I was like, oh. And then I went over and watched those fights, and I was mentally scarred for about 3 years.
Look at us now. We're all hanging out. We got a podcast. Right? We talk about people getting punched in the face all the time. It's awesome.
Exactly. It is kind of funny because Matt brings that up, like going to a private school, and it was like a private Christian school, and then going over to Freeman in 7th grade. I was kind of in the same boat where like my elementary school, we had a dress code. It was like you wear white, green, or blue, and it had to be collared shirts. It wasn't even a private school. They just wanted us to do that. And then 6th grade, the middle school was the same way. So when I went over to Freeman, I was like, wait a second, this is awesome. Like, this is going to be amazing. And I actually went to Freeman my kindergarten and 1st grade year, and then we moved to Tacoma, and then we moved back to Freeman, which was awesome because I knew almost everybody, but there were some new faces. And 7th grade is really when everybody that we went to high school with, if you didn't already go to Freeman, that's when they came in. I think Ben Mack started in 6th grade, and we hung out with him a lot. Fish, Benzak, like all those guys started in 7th grade because, you know, parents want their kids to know people before they go to high school. So it was kind of nice. But yeah, we didn't really, you know, all three of us didn't really hang out until after high school. And then it was kind of like an inseparable deal. Like it was.
I specifically remember when me and Clayton became real good friends is when we were we 19 or 18?
Yeah,
when we went to Canada.
19 because I just turned 19 a week before, and it was awesome.
And me, Clayton, Ben Mack, Emily, Avery, Megan, and
it was like Danny and Dylan.
Danny and Dylan too. Yeah. They all came up, and we all decided to take a trip up to Canada. Because we're like, all right, it's going to be our last hoorah before we all turn 21. We're all going to, you know, because you can legally drink in Canada at 19.
Yeah.
And so we all showed up, rolled up to Canada. I remember walking into the first convenience store or liquor store that was there.
Oh, yeah.
And I walked up
By
to
the way,
counter.
Canada sucks for alcohol. Yeah. I mean, sucks.
Dude, it's so expensive.
Oh my gosh. I still have a picture with my 15-pack of Rainier that I bought when I was 19. It was awesome. For one, I have questions about why 15 beers in a case. That doesn't make any sense to my brain. That just throws the whole case off. And two, why did I pay $31 for a 15-pack of Rainier in Canada?
Dude, because they know. They're like, oh, these Americans are coming up. But yeah, I think my first alcohol purchase in Canada, I bought a 30-pack of Molson, and then I bought a 5th of Black Velvet and a 5th of Canadian Rye or something like that. It was another. I bought 2 5ths of whiskey and a 30 bomb, and like I had like known Clayton. The only reason I had came up is like Dylan and Avery. I wrestled with in high school, so we were all really close. But like I knew Ben Mack from playing baseball with him back in like 7th grade, 6th grade. You know,
yeah, you guys had a little. You guys had like a little Rockford Little League too, right?
Dude, we were sponsored by. Yeah, we were sponsored by Ben Mack's dad's trucking company or something.
Ultimate
like
Truck, baby.
Yeah, dude. I still have a picture somewhere around here of that baseball team. It's just a bunch of ragtag Rockford kids. That is so funny. But yeah, no, my baseball career was short-lived because I sucked at it. But anyways, we go up to Canada, and like literally probably within the first 15 minutes, Clayton and Ben are just hammering beers. And I was like, oh, I think I like these guys. I think these guys are going to be some good people. So I hung
Wait a
around them.
second.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't even know that they get down like that. And so, yeah, after that weekend, I just was like, yeah, Clayton's a pretty cool dude. And then that's actually when me and you started talking a lot. And then Matt, I've always talked to too. We just kind of started hanging out, and I think that's kind of how it started.
That whole summer was like the best summer ever. I remember quitting my summer job in like the end of June. So I had all of July, and then I had August, and then I had to go to Boise because I was going to Boise State. So I had 2 months I had nothing to do. Straight up, didn't have a job. I saved enough money for Boise, and I just didn't do anything but hang out with all of you guys. My mom was pissed. The whole summer. She was upset every day. Like, we still talk about how that like scarred her forever. And then I went to Boise, and she's like, I miss you so much. I was like, I don't think you do. Like, I don't think you really do. But that summer was the absolute best. I think that all three of us were like inseparable. I have pictures. I remember going back, and I was like, oh man, this picture's cool. And I look at the dates and stuff. It was like 6/19, 6/20, 6/21, 6/22. I was like, oh my God, I have pictures from 7 days in a row hanging out with these guys. And we're just being like hoodlums, like straight up goons every single day.
Yeah, my liver's probably scarred a little bit from that summer.
I don't remember that summer at all.
That was the backpack summer. We literally carried backpacks.
Oh, dude, yeah,
every day.
You throw like a bunch of beer to fit in your backpack and show up to a house party. Hell yeah, dude, that was badass.
Dude, that was backpack summer. I remember Matt getting like a sick Under Armour backpack. And you just strapped it on.
I still have that backpack too. I still have that.
Dude, that's legit.
I had one of those string bags that was super gross at the end of the summer because I kept spilling beers inside of it. So it smelled disgusting. Oh my goodness. Man. But dude, that was the summer that like basically tied us and bonded us forever. And so, I mean, that was when we were 19. So, I mean, 6 years later, here we are. And 6-7 years later, here we are, and we have a podcast together. So, I mean, this is pretty awesome. I didn't know that the segment would be this great, but dang, trip down memory lane. Hell yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we've had some rough nights since then. I remember when you were like in your last year of Boise, and me and Matt started coming down like a lot. And we started coming down to like
Boise was a good time.
Dude, Boise's a good crazy. There was
Boise got the best of us multiple times.
Oh yeah. Dude, oh yeah.
My literal first experience in Boise was probably the drunkest and craziest night. It wasn't like super crazy, but it was weird because I had gone down to go visit Clayton, and he was living in this like shack house on Main Street, like right by the stadium. And I showed up, and it's me, Clayton, and one of his friends. I can't remember.
Yeah, Brett Rose. And it was actually, which is funny because it was actually Ben Mac's friend. I really wasn't that close with Brett. And so one weekend we were just like, Brett, dude, I got a friend coming over. Like, I haven't seen you in a while. You want to hang out with Taylor and I? And he was like, hell yeah. And he ended up hanging out with us for literally like 72 hours straight. Like, Taylor came on Friday. Brett did not leave my house until like Sunday night. It was hilarious.
Oh, dude, we went on a bender. That first night, we got hammered. We pre-gamed at your house for like 2-3 hours. Then it got dark. And then we went to we bar hopped like 4 or 5 different bars. We ended up at the famous Hump and Hannah's.
Shout out.
Always. Shout out Hump and Hannah's.
Best bar by far. But anyways, we were all blacked out. Clayton had lost his keys and phone. So he's like sitting on the sidewalk trying to like collect himself. I'm like barely conscious. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go back into this bar, see if I can find your stuff. I go in, come back out. Clayton's gone. I have no idea where he's at.
Disappeared.
And I don't have his address because he picked me up from the airport, so I don't know where he lives. I've never been to Boise in my entire life.
This is such a terrible situation.
So myself being just like drunk, I'm like, I'm just going to start walking this direction because this road looks familiar.
Which is hilarious because we used to walk back from the bars like all the time. Like Hannah and I used to do that because it's literally 0.6 miles from the bars to our house. So Taylor, tell this story with that prefaced.
Yeah. So there's only like 2 different roads that lead out of downtown. And I decided to take the one road that was the wrong one, obviously. And I started walking, and I'm probably 3 miles into my walk. It's pitch black out. I'm walking over this freeway. I'm like starting to kind of sober up a little bit. My phone dies, and obviously nothing looks familiar at all, not even close. So I'm like, all right, I just got to walk to a gas station. I walked 9 miles to a gas station. It was literally on the edge of town.
Oh yeah.
I go into this gas station, like slurring my words. Like I know that I'm like, you know, when you're drunk and like your mind is saying the right stuff, but your mouth just doesn't work. And you're like, it was so frustrating. I grabbed like this $100 fucking phone charger and I'm like, hey, can I get this? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I grabbed the phone charger. Oh, hey, can I like plug it in? He's like, yeah, whatever, dude. I'm like freaking 21-year-old kid just being dumb. Anyways, so I like plug in my phone. I get it up to enough battery, which now looking back at it, I don't even know why I tried to charge it, because 1, you were asleep and you weren't answering any of my phone calls. 2, I still don't know the address to your house, so I have no idea where I'm at. So I'm like opening the map and like kind of just looking at shit that I kind of know is the same thing. And then it like, I remembered, I'm like, oh, he lives by the stadium. Maybe I just gotta find the stadium. I click on the stadium, it goes 6 miles, and it's the opposite direction I just walked. I've never sobered up so quick in my life. I went, are you? Oh, I was so mad. So I get back out, and then I ended up having like this 15-minute rant on Snapchat for some reason, because I think everybody cared about it. Dude, I had like trying to explain to people like my entire horrible first night in Boise trying to figure this out. I eventually make my way back. It's daylight now. I think I got back at like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah. And
I get back. Clayton's passed out, face down on the floor, and Brett, I have no idea where Brett's at. Brett's gone. Brett was MIA. And then
I still don't know where Brett went.
I kicked Clayton's foot, and I was like, fucking hate you. And then I went to bed. and then we went to sleep, and we woke up at 5 o'clock that afternoon, started drinking again. We had a good time. And
I was going to say, we literally got over it pretty quick, because I don't know if you remember, the John Jones fight was that night. So we went to Buffalo Wild Wings and watched tying this all back to UFC. We watched the John Jones fight at Buffalo Wild Wings, and that was incredible. And then we did it all over again that Saturday. Oh man, we were in rough shape. But yeah, that's kind of the story of how the boys got together. But I mean, you guys have come down to Boise so many times, and hey, you're going to do it again literally 1 week from tomorrow, or 1 week from today, because the podcast launches today. So you guys will be here the 22nd, I believe. And then we got the 23rd, and then the golf tournament's the 24th. So I'm excited for you guys to be down here. But, oh, man, what a ride it's been. Isn't it crazy to think about this? We weren't super good friends then, but we knew each other when we were all 12 years old. So now we're all like 26 and about to be 27, and we're still here. So we've known each other for longer than we haven't, which is a pretty crazy thing.
That's insane.
That's right. That's buck wild, son.
That's buck wild. Let me hear your yee.
Oh God. Let me hear your yee. Yee.
Oh, that's the only request that people have in Boise for you.
That's fine with me, man. That's fine with me. That's cool.
All right, guys. I think we did a great job. I think that gives a little bit of insights into the pod, a little bit of insights into each one of us, and how it all came about, the Way Out Here pod. As we go through more podcasts, we'll have better and better descriptions of what we're doing. And as sports comes back, honestly, you'll hear us talk about some of the things that we're passionate about. We're talking a lot about UFC, but basketball and baseball comes back later this month. So we'll be talking about that. And then obviously football in the fall. Me being a Boise State graduate and these being by proxy Bronco fans, we're going to be talking a lot of Boise State football. Yee! So I'm excited about that. But we still got topics in one Wack Thing today. So don't go anywhere. But so the first topic that we have today is the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. So it's set for next July. I couldn't believe this, by the way.
I can't believe she made it.
So we lost our bet. That's the first thing.
I'm still going. I said 3 weeks. So
I don't know, man. It's wild at the same time, but that everybody's like, now they're all watching. They're like, we know what happened last time. Like, now we're gonna keep tabs on it. So they might stretch it out and like see how it goes. She might end up dying from COVID.
See,
You
that's
know?
that's going to be the lamest thing. Is if she just dies of just genuinely dies of some natural cause like COVID, or she just gets sick in prison and never talks. I mean, the secrets that she is taking to the grave would be wild, wild, wild. So she has to. I mean, why we need to speed up this trial immediately? The trial needs to be like next month.
I don't understand why they delayed it.
Yeah, why wait a year?
She's got insane
lawyer.
She's got insane lawyers. So what
Yeah.
they'll try to do, and this is like a tactic, is say that she has time served.
Yeah.
So if she sits in prison for a year, that's like part of the defense is like she had good behavior in jail, and she already basically sat in jail for a year without even being guilty, quote unquote. So that is their defense, and it's just another thing that their lawyers are doing. So she sits in jail for a year, potentially gets to get out because she's giving away all these things. So they say, hey, you've sat in jail for a year, plus you've given us all this information. You're free to go, which would be the worst. But, I mean, she got denied bail, which it was kind of iffy there for a second. I thought they might grant her bail.
Yeah.
Crazy times in the world if she was able to just run free after that. I mean, she's so good at hiding already.
That was a good call. Not to grant that bail, because she could have escaped. Something would have happened if she got that bail.
Yeah. She had $20 million in the bank.
No.
I mean, if you can't escape with $20 million, then you're really bad. You're just really bad at escaping.
You're not good.
Getting caught with $20 million in the bank. Like, why are you here? Why she was in because she was in Paris for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden she's back here buying a house under an LLC that's tied to Epstein's. Like, why are you making this so easy for you to get caught? Like, I don't understand.
Also, if you have $20 million, wouldn't you want to be in a country that has like a no extradition clause?
Yeah.
That you like basically can't come back and get tried.
Exactly.
It just does. It doesn't make sense to me. That was one of the lawyer's arguments for her getting bail is that she's not a flight risk because she stayed in the United States when she didn't have to.
Oh, well, you said that on the podcast last time before this even happened. You said that that's going to be a tactic that they're using. She lost. But what a gamble to literally be like, I'm going to hide in the United States, which it's pretty freaking hard to hide here. I'm going to be honest. We joke about having FBI people on our phones all the time, let alone hiding in a mansion in the hills of New Hampshire. So everybody's watching and everybody knows who she is. So it's not like she could hide anyways. And everybody's got smartphones. Everybody's got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, unless you're my dad. He doesn't have Facebook, but everybody's got some sort of social media platform. And they'd be like, hey, dude, I saw Ghislaine Maxwell. She was on that Netflix documentary. You remember what we were talking about? Oh, yeah. And then it's just going to go around. So, yeah, I don't know. For her to make it that easy for her to get caught, it's kind of weird.
Do you think that she bought that house in cash and, like, was hiding, and then the documentary came out and all of this came out, and she's like, uh-oh, I got to leave, but I can't leave. I'm everywhere, I can't go to the airport. Or I can't go to the store.
She has to have like a private jet or something.
For sure.
Yeah. She can't fly in Alaska. That's for sure.
She's trying to get those miles. Maybe. Who knows? She's a Southwest person. She just loves to sit in line like cattle. B-42.
Yeah, just put her on the United flight. She'll get her ass whooped up. They don't take no shit on those flights.
She can take Spirit Airlines where they don't even have flight attendants.
You can smoke on those planes. They don't even care.
They don't care at all. No. They don't have flight attendants. They don't have food, drinks, anything. No. And they basically have camping chairs as seats.
Love it.
Yeah. And the next topic we have is, did you guys see this? The new Ford Bronco they released.
Good.
The anniversary. And whenever I think of the Bronco, you guys know. You just think of OJ. Everybody does.
Oh, God.
You just immediately think of O.J. Simpson.
I definitely did not think of that.
What?
But now that's all I'm going to think. Well, okay, for one, I don't like Ford at all. Hard pass. All right.
Yeah.
Two, like, I seen the pictures of it, and it looked, I don't know. All right, to me, they look decent, but they kind of look like a toy car. Like, it's just kind of really flashy Bronco kind of deal. But now that you bring that up, I don't know. Now that's all I'm thinking about is that infamous freeway trip that OJ decided to have with his entourage of police.
Oh, yeah.
He's having an emotional breakdown after murdering everybody.
That's like another story we eventually need to talk about. That documentary is so great. Have you guys seen the OJ trials where they actually fully do it? Yeah. It's crazy that they actually real life let him go to his mom's house or his grandma's house. They led him via, police escort. They were chasing him, and then they called it off and said, let him go to his grandma's house. We'll get him there. Who on the planet Earth would be able to just be like, hey, guys, call it off. He's going to his grandma's house. Let him say bye. Nobody but O.J. Simpson. He shut down a whole freeway in L.A.
Some white privilege right there, I can tell you that.
Oh,
I know you're gonna edit it, but I had to say it. Anyways, yeah, no, it's crazy that they decided to. They gave him an escort. Did you guys see the drama series too that had what's his face on there playing him? I can't remember his name. He's in like a bunch of Disney movies, like Sled Dogs and stuff, and doesn't matter. Anyways,
I think that was the OJ trials where they were doing the like real life enactment because the guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ross from Friends was playing a Kardashian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought they did a drama series, what you're talking about, and then they did like a documentary series, kind of how they did like the Ted Bundy thing, where they had like Zac Efron play that real life kind of drama series story, and then they did the actual documentary too. Yeah,
I don't think I've seen the actual documentary, but the drama series, like the O.J. Simpson trial, is freaking crazy. How they dramatize it, and oh man, it's really good. It's like one of the best ones. Just acting on there is super good. But other thoughts on the new Ford Bronco? You guys in on it? Taylor,
I think it looks cool, but I would never buy it.
No.
Yeah, true. That's like most things in life.
I wouldn't buy a Ford. You know what? No, I just wouldn't buy a Ford. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Even if they came out with a Cybertruck.
No.
No.
You take that freaking 10 truck away from me, man. You get that thing out of here.
With the broken glass windows. That was so. Speaking of broken glass windows and Cybertrucks, Elon and Bill Gates got their Twitter accounts hacked today.
Dude, how wild!
That's crazy.
That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it wasn't just those two. It was like Obama got his. Mike Bloomberg got his, which I don't care for Mike Bloomberg at all. But, like it's crazy that those guys they were trying to sell like Bitcoin, wasn't it? Or they were trying to invest in Bitcoin?
Yeah, they were like basically they sent to all their followers like a message. It was like, buy Bitcoin here or something like that. So, they hacked it and then tried to promote something. But regardless, I feel like no, not at all. And if Bill Gates and Elon are getting hacked, though, that means that we are just out there. There's no chance for us. If those two, look at what Elon named his son, let alone what his password is for Twitter. I bet.
Oh my, that is such a good point. Oh my gosh!
If they can hack Elon's Twitter, then we're done for. Our Twitter password is nothing compared to what theirs.
Yeah, mine's actually password. So. Well, I got to go change it to password 1 now.
Isn't that funny when they do like the new password and then, or the like put in your current password and then do a new password, and all you do is like add a letter or you add a number. They're like, hey, dumbass, actually change your password. We're trying to help you.
I would always like just capitalize a different letter in the password. And then I'd always like end up either like switching a phone or like having to reset the password at some point, and I'd forget what the old one was. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So you just start running through the numbers like, capital this. Nope. This one. Nope. And it's like, can't use an old one. Like, which one was it? Like, I don't even remember. I don't even remember which the good one was. Damn it, dude. Oh man. Terrible.
Have you ever not been able to log into something and you can't log into it? You reset your password and you just say, screw it. You're like, I'm never going to get on this site again.
Dude,
I'm locked out forever.
I have 2 Twitters literally open that I can't get into because I don't remember. I swear to God, because I still have people that like, I'll go to them and I'll see new followers on my old Twitters, and it's from.
What happens if your old Twitter blows up? You have like hundreds of thousands of followers. And then your new Twitter is just.
I don't want anyone to look at my old Twitters because I was 14 and angry, and I just a bunch of emotional weird lyrics. Like you ever like scroll through your old social media and you're just like, what the fuck was I thinking back in? Like this is so. Like, shut up.
I still
dude.
do, yeah, absolutely.
So dumb. So
dude,
dumb.
Even 8 months ago, I looked through my Instagram. I'm like, delete. This stuff should not be published.
What is this hashtag, you idiot?
Yeah.
Also, how about you straighten the camera up? Why is it blurry? You have an iPhone 10. Like, this is just on you at this point. You can't even blame your phone. You're just a bad picture taker.
Oh, dude.
That's all I think about.
Just good old times.
Seriously. Also, if you, this is kind of crazy, but if you go on Twitter and put in your handle in the search bar and then search for a specific word, you can see all of your tweets with that word in it. So that's how some celebrities are getting like canceled, is because they put in their handle on Twitter and then they put a like offensive word next to it. And then it comes down with all the tweets that they had with that word in it. And so there's like a bunch out there that, you know, are racist, or they say like just the F word a bunch or whatever, just shouldn't be on social media. And so there's I think Chrissy Teigen had one from like 2008 that people were roasting her for, because she's like the cancel queen. Yeah, she's like the cancel queen on Twitter. And so she was like basically bashing other people, and then people were basically sending her the receipts of her own tweets, and they're like, hey, you did this too. And so, yeah, I don't know. But that's kind of a crazy little Twitter feature that, so if you ever want to see how awful your old tweets are, make sure to put in your handle and then put a word next to it that you think you might have said, because I guarantee it will come up with stuff. That's great.
Some wild stuff, dude. That is some wild stuff.
Yeah, I do not love that feature. Also, Mark Cuban came out with a app a long time ago that every 90 days, it deletes your tweets after 90 days. Like, so if a tweet is 90 days or older, it like automatically deletes it. He made it for athletes because when they got drafted, they'd had like super offensive tweets that on draft day, people were like retweeting. And then they're like first rounders. They're like, I got to delete this. And the Miami Dolphins aren't going to draft me anymore because I'm saying like terrible things on Twitter. And it was costing people like millions of dollars. Yeah. Matt, do you remember Laramie Tunsil? The guy that had the bong gas mask?
Oh yeah. That's so awesome. Oh, dude, yes.
So there was a video that went viral 4 minutes before the draft started, and he had a bong with a gas mask attached to it. And so it was like he basically fell from like the 4th pick in the draft all the way to like 15. And he was one of the highest rated players of the draft, but because of his viral stuff, they like passed on him, and it cost him like $2 to $3 million guaranteed dollars. So dude, that
sucks.
It's not just a little bit of money, which is crazy.
It's a lot of bit of money.
Yeah, a lot of bit of money.
A lot of it.
Holy smokes. Yeah, that's all we got for topics though. One whack thing is next. Everybody's favorite part of the set. Everybody's favorite part of the podcast. One whack thing. Matt, or Taylor, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, it's going to be on our Twitter. It's an animal. It's a weird animal. It's a goofy-ass animal. It's a dorkfish. It's a fish with human teeth in it, man. It's called a triggerfish. It's in like, I don't know, they're found in like the coral reefs pretty much, but this guy on Twitter, it's on our page, but he had caught it and took a picture of it, and it's the goofiest looking fish I've ever seen in my life, man. It's got actual like people teeth in it and lips and everything. But they said that the bite of this thing is actually so powerful that it can rip through like scuba gear and stuff. Oh. So yeah, so it's actually like a pretty dangerous fish. Oh. But that I don't know. That's weird.
I don't like that.
Finding weird animals, man.
Have you guys seen those pictures of fish that have like teeth in the middle of their body and stuff that are straight up like in the middle of their gills or whatever?
What?
Dude, there is a faction of Twitter that I have been down. I know that I've been on cake videos for a little bit, but this is like a faction of Twitter that it was a couple years ago, but they were finding animals with like random teeth growing out of them. So they either ate something or like they're just. This is why we need to find more species in the ocean, because these things exist. They have a mouth like in their stomach and random things like that. So
dude,
yeah,
so much,
weird. So that reminds me of that, like having human teeth. Gross. Matt, what about you? One whack thing.
So mine comes from Oxfordshire. So I'm assuming that's in like England or somewhere over
that
there.
Sounds very UK.
Yeah, somewhere over there in the United Kingdom, I'm sure. But Leanne McLean, she's 14. she had to get rescued today out of a baby swing because she got stuck trying to record a TikTok video.
Do it for the gram.
Yeah.
You remember? No, it was Do It for the Vine. Do you remember
Do
that?
it for the Vine.
Do it for the Vine. Oh, dude. Oh man, that's so embarrassing. She had to get the fire department called out.
Yeah,
and
the fire,
everything?
like they had to like cut her out of this thing. She was so
Oh
stuck.
my gosh. That's
How embarrassing.
So funny. So funny.
What do you even tell? Oh man, I can't even imagine the fire department showing up and like trying to get you out. You're just sitting there all awkward in this baby swing. Sorry guys.
Like
I don't know.
Like what kind of video are you trying to record with a baby swing?
Yeah, that's a good point. You should have just finished it out at that point. You're already in it. I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, be more dedicated to the game.
Yeah, no one likes a quitter.
Actually, seriously, she called 911 on that. I mean, she should lose followers now.
Yeah.
Canceled.
Yeah, she's canceled. She's for sure canceled.
Canceled.
All right, guys. My one whack thing today. This has been going on for a while, so I've seen this a couple of times and I've passed on it for my one whack thing. But I wanted to talk about something that's kind of adjacent to this. But there is now robotic pigeons that they have created that fly exactly like birds. So they have created, I don't know what lab this is in, but there's now robotic birds flying around. And that is whack. But even adjacent to this, have you guys ever heard of the conspiracy that all birds are fake?
Yes.
And
yes, I have. That was back in like the Reagan days.
Yeah,
all birds are fake. They're watching you with the birds, man.
So they're all like, they all have cameras and stuff. And so when the birds go south or whatever, and you don't see birds for a couple months, they're charging them. And so,
oh my God.
Oh, dude.
I personally love that conspiracy because it's so
awesome.
Out there. I mean, it's way out there. So it fits perfectly. But now they actually have these new robotic pigeons and they can bend their wings. They can fly up to like 8 hours. That freaks me out a lot. I mean, we're getting closer to this conspiracy possibly being real now.
It's probably been real. It has to be real. But the thing is like we're building so many like intelligent robots now. Like we were talking about this pre-show, but those robots that like do all the acrobatic stuff on Twitter
freaks me out.
Dude, what the hell, man? Like, have no one seen iRobot? Like this, they're gonna go sideways, and people are gonna get messed up. That stuff's crazy to think about.
Dude, they're like doing backflips, and they did the obstacle course one. I think it was it was University of Boston that was doing all of these robotics tests, and they were doing the obstacle course with a handgun. And the robot was literally jumping like it was box jumping up to 8 feet. And then it was doing actual like tuck and rolls, and it was sliding, and it was doing backflips, and literally it was shooting targets and not even, I mean, it was hitting the center of the target religiously. So it's not even that, it's so accurate that it's stupid. And we should shut this down. I mean, we should pull the government should pay for them to shut that down.
Hey, how about we just like not bring out robots in 2020? We don't need another thing at this point.
Save that for 2021.
Yeah.
Save that for 2021.
Yeah.
You know how the government pays for like grants for studies and like to cure cancers and things like that, and we pay for these robotics things to happen. Definitely defund that. That needs to be. Those grants need to be canceled immediately.
Yeah. No, I'm not sold on the robots.
Me either. I've seen iRobot. I don't want those.
No, not at all. It just doesn't seem like a great idea, regardless of your position on technology. Also, why do we need that? Like, build us some more VR stuff, some cool video game stuff. I don't know. Something better than that. Yeah. I don't know. Turn that time you're spending on all these robots, spend it on us. Who knows?
Spend it on, yes. So throw us another stimulus check. Damn it, let's go. Everybody's hurting for money. You're out building robots.
Actually, we should find out the amount of money it takes to build some of these robots. I bet it would blow our minds how much one robot costs, like tens of millions of dollars, plus the time that it takes for the scientists and stuff to actually come up with all of the AI stuff for it. Yeah. I bet I am going to guess it's around $10 million to build one robot, and they have like an army of them. So
you're probably not far off, honestly. That's a pretty good guess.
You know what we can do with $10 million? Probably fight gorillas and bears and stuff.
Dude, the Twitter video you had the other day of that bear using nunchucks, that was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. It was so funny. So funny. I was like, oh, yeah, bear would definitely win. Bear's got upper advantage for sure. Gorilla doesn't have anything on that thing. Bears are ninjas.
There was a... I mean, if they have that skill, it's game over for every species, including
game over
us.
for me. Fuck me up.
Yeah.
I'm not coming at no bear with nunchucks.
The video was literally just this brown bear, a huge brown bear, just showing off his nunchuck skills. And then some zoologist retweeted it and commented on it. He's like, I'm a zoologist and I can confirm that this bear, and it's like, and it was like ... Now that nobody's reading this, how badass is this? We're definitely going to do this in our zoo now.
That's so cool. Dude, that'd be so trippy to see just a bear just practicing kung fu in the middle of the zoo. It's like, oh, don't let that thing out.
Dude, that's definitely a learned behavior. And whoever's teaching that bear those skills, stop it right now. We do, just like we don't need robots, we do not need ninja bears everywhere.
Ninja bears.
Bears can already like climb trees and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So can you imagine a bear scaling a tree and just throwing a throwing star at you?
If any animal is gonna do it, it's gonna be the ninja bear.
True. I mean, what a battle if we teach the bears ninja skills and then we teach the gorillas some ninja skills. What a battle that would be. It'd be like Planet of the Apes, but instead they're after the bears instead of humans.
Yeah, gorillas can use their feet too. They're gonna have like double the nunchucks.
True.
they do. You know what I mean? They use their feet as hands too. They got opposable toe thumbs.
Oh, you know who hates the Bears versus Gorillas conversation is Nick Merckx. Every time somebody brings up the Bears versus he thinks gorillas would like wipe the floor with bears, and so he hates when people bring up the conversation because he's so pro gorilla. It's hilarious. People like bring it up to him in the chat while he's streaming, and he gets so pissed off. He's like, chat, don't do this. Chat, please. Chat. I told you once, I'm not going to do this thing again. I've already talked about the Bears versus Gorillas.
Gotta tag him in that Ninja Bear video. Maybe change his mind.
I think so he was on Pardon My Take from Barstool, and one of the guys was like trolling him on the podcast. He was like, I definitely think Bears would win. He's like, you stop this right now. I'm not even going to continue this conversation. And so I saw on Twitter, he was tagged as a comment. Like that guy tagged Nick Merckx.
Yes,
so it's already been done.
That's so good.
I applaud those boys, but
hell yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm happy to see you guys next Thursday. We're going to be in studio. It's going to be awesome. Our first in studio pod is going to be, hopefully, if we can get it done next week, that means that we're only 2 weeks out from having a couple of episodes in studio, which will be awesome. And then our golf tournament is on the 24th. So you're going to see some Happy Gilmore stuff. Matt's actually going to be for real golfing, carrying the team. And so we appreciate everybody listening to the pod, though. Make sure you go subscribe. Make sure you go rate, review. And as always, we're sponsored by Manscaped. You can go to manscaped.com, get 20% off plus free shipping if you use code WASHED. And that is it for our boys. We're going to be here on Tuesday, and we're out.